Hello fellow weebs, and don't you even dare say that you aren't a weeb. If you're here and watching these videos, I have a sad truth for you that you have to face. Your parents don't love you. But also just accept the fact that you're a weeb. It's okay. We all know. And this is a safe space. You fucking weeb. And one day, you too will move to Japan to become an English teacher and then stay inside your apartment, refusing all contact with others because you're too chicken shit to attempt Japanese with native speakers. And when you go into a Starbucks to order a hot grande white mocha, and even though you say white mocha no grande hoto de onegaishimasu, the service staff will look at you like you've grown a second head, and you'll be forced to point at the menu so they understand your order, and they'll ask you in broken English to hear or go, accompanying their words by pointing at the floor and then out the window. And shamefully, you'll slip back into your own hackneyed version of English since you've become overly used to speaking to students in a more simplified way, and you'll reply, please to go, and also gesture out the window, and then defeatedly you'll trudge to the pickup desk and realize that because it's summer and because they required you to order in stupid fucking English, they've made you an iced white mocha, and you pick it up and leave, sipping mournfully at the whipless beverage, promising to yourself that you'll do better next time. But you never do. So just accept it, you're a weeb, and that's your future. Also, this time around, I've basically only chosen shoujo-centered isekai. Deal with it. Miss Not So Sidekick. Bro, if you have not read this, you haven't read anything. I don't really mean that, but yeah. But you must have been living under a rock for the past couple of years. If you were to read only one otome reincarnation manga, this is the one I would recommend to you. Honestly, I don't even want to explain it to you. It's just good. It's just fucking good. Every single trope you could ever ask for in this genre is there for the taking. Main character who is intelligent and is essentially you if you got reincarnated. Romance that is half miscommunication, half fret. Check. Just the most beautiful man you've ever seen before. Check. What else is there? Really? That said, I really want to extol the virtues of this manga before we dive into the plot. The humor in this is just off the charts, like honestly, you won't go through this without citing a meme, a reference to a meme, a joke, or the main character just flat out freaking out in a way that is so realistic and relatable that you'll be smiling constantly. I started speaking to a person on Bumble Friends because they were asking for manga recs, and I was like, hey man, I got you. Meet me in the park after sunset and I can get you the stuff. No, but like I just said, read this, and I sent them the manga decks link. I think we spent a total of like 5 hours just fangirling over it and over the characters. After that, like every relationship I've built in my adult life, our friendship dwindled into nothing. But for that short time where we were going back and forth, we deeply discussed our theories on the way the story was evolving, what would happen, and the mysteries within the enigma that is Miss Not So Sidekick. Now that you know this manga can make or break relationships, and has enough lore to get another person to give you their number and keep a conversation going for hours, then you know this has got to be some sort of story, right? Right. Anyway, I put this manga at one of the top spots of otome reincarnation manga because, man, it's just really enjoyable to read, and I look forward to the chapters whenever they come out. Don't tell me boss this, but when I telework and I notice a new chapter is out, I'll just stop whatever I'm doing and read the new chapter. Shh. But yeah, now I should probably explain the plot. Beware, we're over 100 chapters into this story, so it's gonna be a little hard to encapsulate. Well, originally the main character is a fan of a web novel that she follows religiously, and I think she dies. Fuck, it's really been too long since I've read the beginning of this one, but yeah, anyway, she's reincarnated into the web novel she was following and takes the role of Latte, one of the mob characters, a less rich noblewoman who usually isn't directly connected to the plot of the web novel she has entered. She decides she's gonna live out her life and write and publish BL in this new world and, take things as they come. And since she's a fan of the original web novel, she figures every event that's set to happen is basically like a play unfolding just for her own enjoyment. So she makes it a part of her own journey to witness these events take place. And what we get is just such a rich character who makes me laugh and who I adore. Latte is everything I wish I would be if I were reincarnated into a web novel. And she's constantly so humble, which I just adore. She's just a good main character. Oh shit, the summary got too long. Anyway, suffice to say, there are hotties involved, a plot that unravels the more Latte involves herself in it, and the slowest romance with one of the most romantic scenes I've ever seen in my life. Honest to fucking God, nothing will ever top this. I legit cried because I felt an instant connection with the people who committed suicide after watching Avatar and realized they'll never be able to experience the perfection of Pandora. If I can never dance floating in the air in a beautiful dress with an extremely powerful and attractive wizard, is life really worth living? Honestly, this is just so fucking enjoyable. Read it, okay? Come on. It's long, it's a commitment, but buddy, it's rewarding the whole way through. If you like any shoujo reincarnation, I can almost assure you, you will like this. It's quality with a capital K. I'm Australian, so in my head I said quality, like a koala. Yeah, so the joke makes sense, okay? Shh. Crimson Karma. Do you like badass main characters who can do whatever the fuck they want to do? Then hell yeah, you gonna be loving Crimson Karma. Like, straight off the bat, I still remember reading the first chapter of this manga. Originally, if you'll believe this, I used to spend a lot of time looking for a good manga to read, based off recs of other shit that I liked, and this was on here. So I read the first chapter and sped through this motherfucker, and then I realized there was only one chapter on Manganello, so I desperately searched for more, but there wasn't anything. There had only been one scanlated chapter. I felt cheated, betrayed, destitute. How could I go on? What was there to live for? Steeling myself to live a life of nothing, I would go on to check continuously for this manga for the next 3 months, returning to its title page every now and again, and staring forlornly at the singular chapter. Then, the impossible happened. A team picked it up, bless their souls, and getting updates has just really been a dream come true. Damn, it's kind of hard to explain how this story went down. So originally the main character is what I assume from our world, and she's a soldier. Well, assassin is probably more accurate, and she's damn good at her job. One of the best in the world. She was raised to be like this and can only barely remember her family since she was orphaned and essentially became a child soldier. But in the current time, she's deadly, and she's like a damn suicidal nightmare, okay? She'll go balls deep into crazy assignments because she can, and she'll come back a victor. But it only takes one time for things to go wrong, and go wrong they do. And she dies. As she's dying, she kinda wishes she could have done things a little differently. Like, she wants to open her heart to believe in others, to rely on others, and have them trust her. And when she gets reincarnated as a female soldier in another fantasy world, she gets her chance. And dudes, things just go uphill from there. She trains and meets the second prince and becomes his buddy, his best friend, and she's so fucking cool. Like, everything she does, everything she says, she makes good decisions, she's smart, she never underestimates the enemy, but because she's never been social, she doesn't really know how to do stuff like that, to deal with that shit. So it's a really fun balance to watch in this character. And speaking of balance, we got some bishies up in here to really balance out the eye candy of our main character. Look at these pretty men. And what I really like right now is that there is no real ship that has been established yet. No one is looking at the main character like she's a piece of meat. She's just a person. And yeah, there's still some sexist shit happening in this because it's medieval-ish and women are weaker or something, but she's strong because she trains and she has memories of her previous life. I aspire to be like her one day. She's got that androgynous look going, and it's really working for her. Anyway, the main story is about her supporting this second prince to essentially become the king of the country, and about how she works under him, not literally, to help secure the throne for him. I'm a big fan of the way they're weaving friendships in this. Platonic friendships are valued and they're given the spotlight, which is a low fucking bar, I know, but I love it. The other characters like her, respect her, acknowledge her strength, her intelligence, her ability to get the fucking job done. This series is all about building trust, so she can finally achieve those regrets that she had in her previous life. Hot damn, this is a fucking good one. Like, I know I told you to read the previous one, but also read this one. It's not like you've got anything better to do. I know I don't. But seriously, all things said and done, if you want a story about a character dealing with their regrets by being active in their new life, then you want to give this one a shot. I really like the main character, and I definitely don't have a crush on her. God, I wish this would tag Yuri. Come on, give us a chance too, man. I became the villain's mother. Probably the most cliche manga I've selected for today's lineup. I say this because it's all in the fucking title. The setup is right there. What happens, you ask, a curious eyebrow raised. Are you a fucking idiot? She becomes the villain's mother. Oh, so it's like that other one, fuck the villain's dad, right? Kinda. I can see where the misgivings would come about, but it's definitely different. It's more heartwarming, stupid, and wholesome. The main character is a fucking airhead, but I love her anyway. She's getting played 2 days to Sunday, and she still doesn't know anything about it. Anyway, this one is just really sweet. I can't remember the setup for the death of me, but I'm assuming from memory that the main character dies and ends up in a story she's been reading or an otome she's been playing. I don't fucking know. Anyway, it's not like that's even important. She dies in her normal life, and her past life has ultimately no bearing on the story other than the fact that she is aware of who the villain, hero, and heroine are. And she, in the role of the villain's mother, tries to stop that shit going down. Okay, so it's more like seduce the villain's dad than I'm willing to let on, but whatever. The tones are radically different that, I would never get them confused. Anyway, so she basically wants to stop her new stepson from becoming the big bad. And how does she do this? By being a good and doting mother. And it's so fucking sweet, and he begins to open his heart to her. Originally, he's just humoring her, waiting for her to reveal her true nefarious nature, like the one he hides. But she's just so pure. She loves him so much. Eventually, her husband notices this warmth and decides to get in on the bonfire that is her heart. And they become a fucking family. I'm in legit tears thinking about how sweet this shit is. Holy fuck. If you're a lover of the saccharine, then this is the shit for you. Anyway, yeah, so the art in this is not as good as others I've mentioned. The scanlations are a little half-hearted and often sound like they were put straight through Google Translate. But damn, if the wholesome love of found family doesn't get you, I don't know what does. If you want to see the unquestioning love of a mother change the heart of her stepfamily and witness the warmth born out of her dotage and constant care, then this is the thing for you. Honestly, this is just a nice story. The main character is a bit of a dummy, but her heart is in the right place. Read it if you just want something wholesome but silly. Fuck, I'm crying again. Lady just wants to relax. Fuck. Am I a fucking furry? That's what you'll be thinking when you're reading this manga. That's just how it is. That's how it's gonna be. First catcher, now this. Why has the content I've consumed made me question the very foundations of who I am as a person? That's another question you'll be asking yourself. Anyway, if you're not ready to take a deep look inside yourself and admit to yourself that you want to stroke this character's head, you're fucking lying to yourself. This is the lewdest, pure manga I've ever read. I don't know how it does it. It makes me uncomfortable looking at their expressions, but what they're doing is nothing questionable. I don't know, it feels too intimate, like you're holding someone's hand or something. No, it's more than that. It's patting them, and it's just too much. Okay, fucking take it. Okay, okay. I need a breath. Well, I have not explained a single thing to you about the plot. So first of all, like basically any manga I read, I gots to like the main character. And boy, oh boy, do I like this one. This bitch be ballin'. She's like badass, but also a sweet lady. Anyway, her backstory is she was reincarnated into the role of villainess in an otome game she was playing. However, she plays all her cards right and manages to just kind of get exiled rather than decapitated when all the shit hits the fan. And she retires to the countryside to own a cafe. If this ain't the cafe fanfic you wrote about your favorite series, you haven't been living. Anyway, so at her cafe, she starts to serve these beast people, who can either appear as their full furry selves, or as semi-human with animal characteristics. Yeah, I'm talking about catboys, alright? Fuck off. Beast people are usually quite strong, and there's been some bad blood between them and humans in the past. And so since these particular beast people who come to our cafe are mercenaries, they're generally disliked in this small countryside town, and they're really not allowed to eat anywhere in town or anywhere at the other restaurants, which is, that's just racism, right? That's just blatant racism. Anyway, so they eat her food and they start frequenting her cafe, and then they start becoming friends, and then this starts. And I'm as uncomfortable as I am blushing while I read this. I've read hardcore smut that makes me feel less like I'm going to hell than when I read this manga. Suffice to say, there's more to her backstory that she doesn't let on, and there are so many ships that your mind will explode. Fuck me, man. I desperately hope this manga becomes reverse harem, because I don't want her to have to choose. It might very well break me. It also better not fucking do that. And we all love her, but she thinks we're friends. Ending. This shit is too wholesome lewd for that to fly. Give me a real couple, you fucking pussies. A manga which will make you question if you're a furry or a furrent. Way too wholesome for its strangely lewd tones. Read it. Question who you are. 10 out of 10 recommend. The Evil Lady's Hero. This is wholesome in a whole nother way. This is like modern relationship and dating, a real edge of contemporary relationship writing, but in a fantasy world, childhood trauma included. Compared to the others on this list, it's really fucking short, but it's still got all the good stuff in it. Let me go straight to you with the news that this is a little bit more hot under the covers than the other manga I've listed today, and it involves more visual PDA than you normally get in your average otome villainous reincarnation manga. But man, this is good. There's something so authentic about the way the relationships are written in this manga. So, it's generic setup for every other otome villainous manga under the sun and the world over. Main character dies in the real world and is reincarnated into another world. Shock! Gasp! Oh, how original! But that aside, the story actually does go down a unique pathway. Specifically, they put the main character into the villainous position. But, get this, instead of the main being the heroine's direct villain, her original role is that of her best friend. And the backstory of this particular plot is much less contrived than the standard, we attend the same school and she's hot for my reverse harem target pool kind of tale. For example, the in-story heroine is in a kind of unhealthy relationship with the prince of the country, but she just loves him so much that she can't bear to leave him. Originally, she was meant to meet her real love interest and leave the prince and live happily ever after. But with the introduction of the new main, this entire plot is unraveled from the ground up. The main decides she wants nothing to do with the main storyline, since I believe it doesn't end well for her, and she decides to strike her own path. Unfortunately, fate has other plans, and she ends up in the sights of the heroine's true love interest. And man oh man, this dude is just like the cutest motherfucker this side of Doug from Up. The main can't resist this guy's purity and his authenticity, and despite her best interests, she starts falling for him. She had thought that since the main heroine wouldn't meet him until later, she could enjoy her time with him and eventually he would move on naturally once he met the true love of his life, in the form of the in-manga heroine. But that turns out it might not be the case. But she doesn't know that yet. Anyway, this is honestly just a touching manga with a very wholesome and healthy approach to learning to explore a new relationship, and I think it's really adorable. Are you in the mood for some light PDA? You better fucking not, since the pandemic is still on the rise. Stay inside, don't touch others, and stop going to the corner store for fuck's sake. Anyway, if you want something that's just cute and sweet and has relationships with characters who seem straightforward and complex, then you might enjoy this. Give it a red hot read. Alright, so originally I recorded this after a night of drinking and then a morning of literally purging myself on the hour every hour from 9 AM to 2 PM. So sorry not sorry about the sound of my voice, unlike the first like three manga. That's the result of just vomiting a lot. That said, no one ever watches past 5 minutes of these videos, so this little spot is my own little confessional space that no one will ever find. Oh god, do you think that's actually a thing? That's actually what people do? Like, submit videos of their actual confessions because they don't think anyone will ever watch them? That's a pretty untapped reality show idea, I'll tell you that. God, I'm fucking distracted today. Also, coconut milk is a really good hangover hydration method. 10 out of 10 recommend. And that's that. Fucking give me some recs. I'm actually running out of things to read. I'll have to do more sleuthing otherwise. Anyway, that's it for today. I'm gonna go lie in bed and promise to myself I'll never drink again, but no, I'll be lying to myself. Catch you later. Weeb Review out.